Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, 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 welcome back to Kaiserreich. We did it! We united Italy! That's the Socialist Republic of Italy. It was fun. It wasn't that difficult. It was a little bit difficult. Which, you know, that's kind of what I'm going for right now. We're planning to conquer, yeah. We're planning to conquer Sardinia. Go us. You know. We are planning to... I don't know, what do we want? I guess we'll get instilled aggression? Sure, why not? Whatever. We're getting naval XP from naval missions. But mostly we're trying to maybe, theoretically, at some point land in Sardinia, though probably not. Return of the Campione Commune. Our government has secured a minor diplomatic triumph, as Switzerland has recently decided to return Campione, the formerly Italian exclave in Ticino, back to us. The lakeside commune in question was temporarily put under Swiss protection following the start of the Italian Civil War in 1919. Now their countries reunified again, the Swiss find no reason to keep Campione away from us any longer. Evita! Okay, 500 manpower. And some stability. That'll go immediately into the hole. We are way in the hole on support equipment. Like, way, way, way in the hole on support equipment. We need more support equipment. Really badly. Radar. Yeah. Alright. Nice. Okay. I feel like a landing here is not useful, but it's like the only place we can land. Let's see. You guys should go to training. And, yeah, that's fine. Because we're not really... We're at war, but we're not, like, really at war. You know? Oh. I'll need to go to better conscription, but, like... can handle the trickle. There's some lady who will give us, like, a bunch of extra... stuff, guys. Anyways, we should probably up the sim speed. We can up it to 5. I like 4 speed more than I like 5 speed. 4 speed is 5 speed has a tendency to like run too fast for me most of the time. Field hospitals. That seems like a smart idea. We got RDD. RDD. Okay. There we go. There's political advisor. Ada Gobetti. Alright. Gruppi di Difesa della Donna. Long in the mind of any egalitarians in the armed forces, the introduction of women to combat service in the army seems like an obvious way to strengthen not only the manpower pool, but also encourage gifted and ambitious women to make a career of the armed forces. As a start, we'll create specific defense groups for women from where we can start to integrate. We can integrate them into the army as a whole. That'll do. That will solve our manpower problem. Give us plus 10 recruitable population factor. And a person who can give us more guys. Okay. Trial for reactionary leaders. With our victory over the reactionary forces, leaders of the corrupt Republican and the noble leaders of the despotic kingdoms are standing trial. We should slow things down. Some want us to be lenient with them, others want to be harsh, making an example of them. How should the court rule? Lenient. We already have our victory. Besides, we can use them. Expansion of the Christian Social Party. Yeah, they might want to help us fight the Austrians and the Germans, which, like... you know, I'm a pragmatist. If you're like, I like kings, but I want to kill some Austrians, I'll be like, that's fine. You just need to accept that we won. For expansion of the Christian Social Party, formed in 1919 out of the socialist-aligned scions of the PPI, led since its foundation by Riccardo Lombardi, the Christian Social Party has been the chief Catholic Party in the Socialist Republic. Even with the recent unification of the country, this appears this may not have been bound to change. With many former PPI politicians joining its ranks, the PCS seems set on expanding its political influence. Whether these politicians had a genuine change of heart or just adopting the tactic of reactionary entrism, we can't say. Lombardy must keep his party on a tight leash. Indeed. Hard to disagree. Oh my god. Annoying. Okay. So. Chetnik activities flare up. While we may have completed the liberation of the rest of Italy, our own internal enemies have apparently recently completed the unification of a wide anti-socialist front. Coming from all across the country, about a dozen independent anti-socialist militia have recently been subsumed inside the clandestine military front, giving them a better organization and making them several times more effective against their own government. This is coincided with a new Chetnik offensive on the home front. With significant resources committed in the reconstruction of liberated territories, they are proving to be a dangerously effective ally of whatever external enemies we still have. We will not be intimidated. Yikes. Yikers. Alright. Modify the Italian Chetniks by a lot of bad things. Alright. We don't like that. We should probably get military police. Might be useful. Defense is good. I should probably get efficiency cap. Whatever. We'll wait for this to expire. Let's go! Pogging right now. The Second Irish Revolution. Over the past year, since the National Guard overthrew the government of the Irish Republic, the new regime has been subject to internal factionalism. This came to a head after a massacre of British loyalists in the northern province of Ulster led to a surge in terrorism, leading to an uprising by ultranationalists inspired by Portuguese integralism. The Irish army, after crushing the Integralist rebellion, replaced Irish dictator Earl Duffy under arrest, but opted not to restore democracy. The replacement of one dictatorship for another resulted in public outrage, provoking a general strike in a British-supported guerrilla campaign which ground the nation to a halt. Unable to govern, the coup leaders were forced to surrender in exchange for safe passage abroad, while syndicalist revolutionaries take power in Dublin. The Irish will be remembered as the first revolutionaries. We did it. Il Sol de l'Auvergne. The first. Look at this guy. The first post-war elections have been held. Polling booths were open all across the country. Though certain unreconstructed areas the vote was severely restricted, much to the chagrin of the sitting actionist government, who hoped to use these elections to prove the democratic nature of the Socialist Republic. Nevertheless, a recent push to expand suffrage in these areas proved to be a successful gamble for the actionists, who ended up being the great winners in the election, defying Blackshirt interference and outnumbering the candidates elected through the trade unions, with the number of sympathetic elected coming from these ranks as well. The actionists will now surely be the leaders of the first post-war government. Immediately, an accord was found with the trade unions to impeach Mussolini. The president sensed the failure of the presidentialist project, resigned from power and quickly left the country. In his place, Parliament has elected Rosselli. Though he opposes extraordinary powers of the presidency, he's chosen to keep those powers until he's able to fully restore constitutional normalcy. A splendid day for democracy. We will not be intimidated. Oh boy, it's the Chetnik. Okay. Expand police operations. Seems smart. 7 points manifesto. If we select... Yeah. Let's see. We are going to... 25? That's cheap. We're going to actually cancel this. And we're going to grab... Probably want... Reconcile with the like-minded Republicans. With the control of Italy ensured, we can offer an olive branch to white officers sympathetic to our cause. Their expertise will be useful to the revolution. Not to mention, the people they work with will be more prone to accepting the new status quo. Yeah, seems good. Oh boy. Okay, can we join the Third International? Is that an option? Oh boy. If we just press leave it opening, it costs 10 stability to take that decision. Expensive, but maybe worth it. That is expensive. Anyways. The Chetnik nonsense. Maybe we'll just apprehend their ringleaders and everything will be fine. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, well. Lots of buttons to be pressed. I love you, random explosion noises. You're my best friend. Pass you. Factory bombed in Emilia. The clandestine military front have targeted a factory in Emilia, causing a great deal of damage and the loss of many lives. Republican Guard investigators are on the scene and claim they're closer to catching the ringleaders behind the Catholic terrorists than they were before. We'll get them sooner or later. That's annoying. I can't press any buttons here. I don't know who Enrico Caviglia is. I do not know who that is. Oh, effects if not selected. Oh. That's annoying. Anyways. Let's, boop, boop, boop. Do that. Probably better to repair infrastructure first. Anyways. We're integrating. Can I make these guys MP guys? Alright. We're gonna call these guys MPs. Not MPOs, MPs. Stand by. Okay. We got MPs. And, we could maybe swap these guys out for... Oh, no, we don't have that option. Oh, well. For irregular cavalry. We've reconciled with like-minded Republicans. More radical socialist support's nice. Enforced secularism. One of the 7 points is that secularism, which is necessary to prevent stagnation caused by being biased by one's religion, is necessary, is that of secularism. In order to complete our goals, Catholic Church must be completely separated from that of the state, and education must be more inclusive to all faiths. Ooh, I can prevent this by pressing a button. We probably want to wait to do that. The Fifth Zili-Fangtian War. Tensions of China have remained high since 1927, when the German intervention brought the 20-year conflict between the various factions to a temporary standstill. Over the last decade, however, both the Fangtian government in Manchuria and the Zili in Beijing have consolidated, built their forces. The stage is set for the most dramatic confrontation in over 10 years. Whichever side emerges victorious, however, it will not be alone. Japan and Germany still loom large over the region, as the land of the rising sun greedily eyes Germany's possessions in the Pacific, and the victory of this war will no doubt have a part to play in the conflict as well. The battle begins. So, what does the situation look like here? Beijing. Alright, so League of 8 provinces and the Beijing government are not good friends with each other. Hunan is aligned with Beijing. Yep, so the associated government of the Beijing government. Oh, technically they're aligned with the Beijing government. Does that do anything? Alright, whatever. We're close enough. We should Chetniks on the move. Bonk. No moving. Oh, nice. It's active in 8 days. We can expand police operation. That seems useful. There's a 40% chance ringleaders will be apprehended. Nationalist government elected in Poland. For 4 years, the young kingdom of Poland has been a political battleground. Conservatives, progressives, socialists, and nationalists, and friends and foes of Germany, all all struggling to the backdrop of Black Monday, underground criminal investigations, and foreign meddling. In this light, this year's elections rate out to be a sign for both domestic politics and Germany's prospects in its east. The results was somewhat unexpected. While a monarchist coalition still was a majority in the Sejm, the main benefactor was the Szechna alliance of conservative nationalists. While allied to monarchist and more pro-German elements, the Szechna consists of many who seek more political and economic independence from Germany, and raising serious questions about Polish-German relations moving forward. You cannot go forwards by moving back. I guess you can't do that. I suppose that makes sense. Maybe think about how physics work. We can't really afford to spend money on metals right now. Political power on very much besides getting rid of these annoying little Chetniks. These dastardly Chetniks. Railway sabotaged in Piedmont. The clandestine military front have set off a series of bombs in the Piedmont region, causing considerable damage to the railways, destroying many trains, and costing the lives of countless innocent people. Damn terrorists. Patagonian Workers' Front is capitulated. No. Yeah, I can't do anything about that because I'm stuck in an internal war. We want probably battlefield support. Go battlefield support. I'm a big battlefield support guy. I would love to apprehend the ringleaders. That would be so nice. We're demobilizing, guys. It's so annoying. Kazakhstan has capitulated. Roma Jazz Festival. Excellent, a jazz festival. That will really help us catch terrorists, is how this game works. With Rome, once again the capital of Italy, a jazz festival has been put on by the various musical unions throughout Italy. Jazz has been in Italy since before the Revolution, starting in 1904, though modern jazz draws inspiration from America. The famed American jazz musician Louis Armstrong is the height of the festival. Let us enjoy the new music of a new Rome. Boy, it must be nice to be an American and being able to leave America during this period. Civil War is no fun. No fun at all. We don't dislikes it. Yeah, we need to jump up and down on Sardinia so we can recruit some other guys. Can we press the button? Chetniks on the move. Yeah. We don't need to move the Chetniks. We probably could have waited, but like, whatever. It's 50 political power. It's a lot, but it's like not that much. Cuba's joined the Reichspakt. Alright. Random reserve. Submarine, go. Alright. Navy. Oh yeah, what I should do? Do that. And then I can, patrol. Will we get enough naval dominance? We do! I'm gonna try to launch our first attack. Looks like the attack is a failure. Yeah, Yeah, that's not gonna work. We'll need to wait to build up our naval forces. There it is. Prisoner of the Vatican! His Holiness has locked himself within the Vatican, as previous popes did during the days of the Kingdom of Italy. He refuses to acknowledge that the Socialist Republic rules Italy. However, so long as he's locked himself in the Vatican, he can do little but make noise. The Pope? How many divisions has he got? Hey, we got Marines for some reason. Oh, yeah, we researched it. Okay, How many buttons are we doing on the button front? Can I get person who give... I don't know why these are so cheap all of a sudden. Oh, because we have two guys who reduced that cost. Emilio Lusso and Pietro Nani. Means these guys are basically free. Can I get the person who... No, I can't get her yet. I don't know. Ooh, monthly population. That's good. Revised colonial agreements. The land reform program of Socialist Republic has, thus far, left much to be desired. Limited scope, paternalistic in supervision of the rural peasantry by the urban proletariat. It's long overdue for revision. The PDA has no advanced legislation for this effect, which would greatly empower the peasantry across all Italy, if passed. Agrarian reform. We do love good land reform. It's 1938. Probably should get better medium airframes at some point. Seems smart. Can I get anything good here? Yes, I can. Considered operations. I need field engineering. Yeah, obviously. There really isn't any other option. Field engineering is super strong. It buffs engineering companies, which are really good to begin with. Now, my plan for naval invading these guys has ended. And you guys can go back home now. I just don't have the naval power to do that. Uruguay wins World Cup. Predictably, Uruguay stormed through the opposition and gained its 5th championship title in the 2nd World Title Cup. The Celeste Olympica host... Celeste Olympica defeated hosts Brazil 2-1, 2-0 in the final of a record-setting tournament, while bringing a strong team and host nation. Uruguay's experienced and talented squad managed to resist Brazil's valiant efforts and win with a goal in each half, and thus their great skill was recognized by the crowd. We congratulate the winners. Who's at war with who? Chile appears to be being dogpiled. That's unfortunate. You kidding me? Factory bombed in Piedmont. We'll get them sooner or later. How annoying. Yeah, we failed a coin flip there. That's too bad. Canada's declared war on the Workers' Congress of America. Oh boy, it's party time. Yeah, rip Chile. Tried your best. At least we're gonna get Spain, which is kind of the one that I care about because I live in this region. Anyways. Military police. MP should probably get military police as soon as we can. Not enough manpower. I'm gonna train 2 Marine divisions anyways. I'll need Marines at some point. Now's a decent time. Anyways, let's see. This is not until 1940. Better Mountaineers now. Better radio? Yeah, let's do better radio. Better radio is always good. Turkestan's capitulated. Okie dokie. Oh boy. What to do with royal palaces? With the conquest of the south, we've taken control of the territory of the Kingdom of Two Sicilies. And as we bring the revolution southward, the question of what to do with the various noble and royal palaces has arisen. Some think they should be turned into public museums. Others think the government should use them for various ministry positions. Finally, some support the idea of giving the order to the Workers' Youth League. Yeah, I mean, we're going to make them into museums, because that's, like, our ideology. And honestly, it seems like a decent idea. We should wait until this resolves. If we apprehend the ringleaders, then we just don't need to spend 50 political power. I didn't do that last time. Yeah, you can have docking rights. Not that you have any boats. Or, I guess you still control New York City. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Dinger dinger durgan. Can we apprehend the ringleaders already? I would really love it if we could do that. Dude, we missed that? We'll get them sooner or later. Gadget. Fire control systems. I'm not really I'm not really boat maxing at this point. We should get Construction 3. Just because it's not that hard for us to get Construction 3. Portugal's joined the Entente. No surprises here. You know what I can do? Cancel my oil imports. Maybe not all of them. Maybe I keep, like, a few. There we go. Yep. That's good for us. Even if in the long term, maybe it's not so good for us. Revised colonial agreements. Stretching. Okay. We probably want the thing that gives us more guys. So we Gruppi di Difesa della Donna is something that we're gonna grab. That we did not go around to grab. Alright. The new agrarian form. Previous Italian reforms in the field of agriculture and land ownership, as advanced by the governments of Mussolini's predecessors, could hardly be considered sufficient. In the framework of so-called colonial pacts, these supposedly enlightened trade unions overthrow the limited enfranchisement of the backwards peasantry. This method of land distribution is not only incredibly condescending, it fails to recognize the inherent revolutionary potential of the Italian peasantry. SR detected, but it also has only been attempted in a few dozen communes. For the rural South, now under control of the Socialist Republic, it's been clear that a more extensive and empowering land reform program is in order. Colonial pacts are to be revised or completely done away with, no matter how much the unions may object to this. And an entirely new class of small landowners shall arise. Already the syndicalists warn of such a petit bourgeois could easily turn against revolution, a notion largely dismissed by the PDA. Freedom for the farmers of Italy. One could hardly expect that they're going to turn against the people who let them do the thing that they are doing. You know, I'm not utterly dismissive of the notion. But, like, you gotta read context. Better engineers? Or better scouts? Better something else? Tanks? For nothing? Improved engine? We'll need it at some point. Alright. Here is my question. What would happen if I transitioned here? We don't have the support equipment to do it. But let's look at the infantry. There's like a compare button that exists in this game. Where is it? Who could say? Yeah, these guys seem nearly identical. Division Bergaselli. Do they count as infantry? Yeah, I think they just count... These guys just count as leg infantry, but they happen to own a bicycle. Okay. That's good to know. Alright, with that, I am going to say bye-bye for now. I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.